A pleasant day to you. In this video, I'm going to talk about some ways on how you are going to prepare for a job interview, either in your country or in other countries. Okay? In the previous video, Teacher Annie actually taught you some ways on how you are also going to prepare for an interview, and I'm going to continue it in this video. My question is, why do we need to prepare? What is it for? Do you just go to a job interview without any preparation? According to some research, it actually shows that most decisions are actually made in the first 2 minutes of an interview. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So your first impression is actually very important during a job interview. Okay? So, what are some of the ways that you should do? First is for you to research. What are you going to research? Know everything that is important, something that is relevant. And of course, in doing so, you have to research about the school or the organization that you are applying for. Why is it very important? Before attending any job interview, you have to know as much as possible about the organization or the school that you would like to work for. As what Teacher Annie has mentioned in the previous video, she mentioned that one thing that you can actually research on is about the history, vision, and mission, the reviews, positive reviews of that organization, and of course, some of the things which are relevant and that you can use during the job interview. Remember that if you're going to research, you have to take down notes of the relevant information that you can use in answering some questions. So if they're going to ask you, what do you know about our organization or about our school? Then you can fully answer the question confidently. Okay? Next one is for you, of course, to research about the job or the position that you are applying for. Why is it so? It is actually vital for you as a teacher to know about the position that you would like to apply for. You have to be aware, of course, of the examples and lesson plans, assessments that you have done, and of course, some samples of work produced by children that you have taught, and some research issues or development plans for the schools or school that you are applying for. Okay? Aside from researching about the job or the position that you are applying for, is for you to research the laws and regulation either of that state or of that country. It is important actually for you to be aware of any changes to government policies relating to the education system either of that school or that organization. Thus, you have to prepare some questions to ask to the panel and make sure that you do not ask questions that has already been discussed as a part of the interview. You are actually being assessed from the moment you enter the school. So sometimes from the first call or visit that you make, many schools actually arrange for candidates to be interviewed by pupils, and others are actually by the teaching staff. So try to answer questions in a relaxed and friendly manner. I hope you can do that in the future. Next one is for you to do some mock or practice interviews. You have to be familiar with the process and steps of an interview so that you can gain confidence. How can you do this one? One way is, of course, not only one way, but the best thing that you can do is for you to practice, practice, and practice. How can you do that? It is actually by means of attending some workshops, peer practice, either not only peer, either with your friends, your family members, or actually somebody in authority where you can practice, and at the same time somebody who can give you feedback during your mock interview. They are actually a big help for you, and with their help, I can guarantee that you can actually gain more confidence in answering their questions. Okay? One way also on how you can prepare for questions is by means of using the STAR technique, as we have said. What does STAR stand for? S actually stand for situation. So you have to briefly explain the context or the situation you found yourself in, including any challenging aspects that you have experienced either during your practice teaching or during the time that you have taught in another schools. T actually stands for task. Thus, you have to describe the problem and challenges. What was your role or your responsibility in that situation? Think about it. A actually stands for action or the activity. So you have to explain what you did and how you solved it. Describe what action you took and why you did or do that action. Detail what methods you implemented and whether your aim was achieved or not. Okay? R actually stands for results. So in this part, you have to state the benefits, saving or rewards and recognitions that you have had after you were able to solve the problem. Thus, you have to give just a simple explanation of what happened. So remember, use the STAR technique. It could be very helpful for you. Another one is for you to emphasize the important aspects or talk about the accomplishments and skills related to the job that you are actually applying for. In any teaching position, your experiences on how you manage the students, either who are multicultural or diverse, and at the same time, some trainings, seminars, or conferences that you have attended to can actually be very helpful in answering some of the questions of the interviewer. So talk about them and give examples if possible. Another one is for you to stress the skills that you have developed, either when you were still a student doing the practice teaching, or now that you are working, or in the place where you had worked before. What are some skills that you can talk about? It could actually some interpersonal skills. It could also be collaborative skills that you actually have developed. So it's like actually a kind of teamwork together with the other teachers. In teaching, collaboration is actually a big word. So the more you collaborate, the more you actually learn from the others. Okay? Another one is for you to give examples. Some interviewees, actually, whenever they answer, they give two general answers. And sometimes, whenever you listen to them, it seems that what they're telling or what they're saying is actually false, or it seems that they are lying. Okay? So, to make the interviewer believe what you are talking about, give specific examples or details of your answers. The last but not the least is actually for you to be positive, be optimistic, be self motivated. If you are going to show optimism to the interviewer, there is a guarantee too that you can be hired in that organization or in that schools. Job seekers who think positively can actually answer interview questions more effectively, and there's also a possibility that they can receive higher salaries and enjoy more career options. Thus, change the way you think. Thank you.